We turn now to the big political story in Washington. The break's over. Trump takeover. GOP, Trump's running your party. Kevin McCarthy, Trump's running your party. Mitch McConnell, Trump's running your party. The boss is back on the airwaves, making it clear to his puppets it's not time to move on from 2020 and his big lie.
They want to talk about the election fraud. The weak Republicans don't want to talk about it. The weak or stupid or rhinos, or call them whatever you want. And yet the voter, the Republican voter, that's what they want to hear. They want to hear about 2020. They want to find out.
Really? They want to find out? They want to find out about 2020 as opposed to COVID relief? Look, President Trump, former President Trump, he's still pushing the election lie, that they want to find out about the lie, but Republicans don't seem to want to find out about the insurrection, something that happened directly to them just a couple months ago.
Our people better get smart, and our weak Republican leadership better do something about it, or they're not going to have a job, but it's going to be much worse. McConnell is hopeless, and he can't stop anything.
Back with me is former RNC Chair Michael Steele and the Nation's Joan Walsh. Thank you all so much for being with me today. So, Joan, I'm going to start with this. President Trump goes on the OAN network, and the first thing he starts to talk about is why ratings have dropped for Fox. I want to play this soundbite and get your thoughts on the other side.
Yes.
Fox is way down. You know, Fox is comparing its numbers to last year, but last year they went way down because people felt that they really abandoned what they believed in, what I think a majority of the people of this country believed in.
Now, look, I'm not a ratings guru here, but the fact that he spends time in an interview, one of the most important things for him to talk about is the ratings of what used to be basically the fourth estate. Does that show you where sort of Trump's priorities are now, or does it just tell you where the GOP's priorities are now?
Well, both. There's really no distinguishing them, Jason, as you know. But it is interesting that he's talking to a relatively low-rated program. This is where he's going. This is where he's telling his story while he's trashing Fox, which still has many, many more viewers. So that's kind of funny. I thought it was also funny that he was trashing Mitch because Mitch is protecting him. Mitch is about to create, have a filibuster against the January 6th commission, which he once sounded like he very much wanted. So Mitch is doing everything right, except throughout that 3.5 minutes, which I only watched for you, Jason. Normally, I wouldn't bother doing that.
Thank you.
But you're welcome. He's still convinced that there's some way to undo this. He has this great line where he says, if there's a bank robbery, you got to give back the diamonds. And the voters want somebody to give back the diamonds. Obviously, he's the diamond. His presidency is the diamond. And he literally still seems to think that he's somehow going to be restored. So that's the nature of the delusion. But at the same time, it's a dangerous delusion because, as you said, he's running the House. He's the House Speaker. He's the Senate Minority Leader. And he has the most power in the party. So thanks for making me watch it because it was very enlightening. And now I'm going to go have a drink.
Look, they already have their diamond and silk. What other diamonds do they want? Michael. So, Michael, I got to find this. I am amazed by this. And look, I understand sort of bad faith arguments. I understand, like I said, Trump, this is the crossover, this is the takeover. He runs the party. But what I don't understand is Republicans being averse to investigating something that endangered them and Mike Pence. I want to play this soundbite from Mike McCarthy right now. Get your thoughts on the other side.
The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters. He should have immediately denounced the mob when he saw what was unfolding. I think a fact-finding commission and a censure resolution would be prudent.
What happened to this guy? What happened? What has changed in this Republican Party?
Trump. That's the only change. The rest of us sane souls are looking at people like McCarthy and go, what the hell did you drink for dinner last night? It's just crazy. It's, I would much rather, to be very honest with you, it's so good to be back on with Joan because we haven't been on the air together in a long time. And I would much rather be debating with her about the president's decision on the XL pipeline or just exactly how much money we should be spending on infrastructure. But here we are yet again bubbling around this universe of stupid. trying to read tea leaves of people who are clueless about what happened because they want to be. This is not, you know, oh my God, we just didn't know. We didn't know that people attacked the Capitol on January 6th. We didn't know that, you know, Donald Trump didn't win the election. They know all of this. And so to pretend like somehow, you know, we're discovering something with them, it's just foolishness. So we need to stop. Because this stuff just drives us nuts, because you can't wrap your head around an enigma that's in a bucket of slop. It just doesn't work. So Trump did his interview on OAN. I'll finish here. Trump did his interview on OAN. God bless him. Turn the channel, move on to something else, because we just had an important discussion about our relationship with our partners on the Korean Peninsula. We've got an economy that's rebounding. We've got a country that's opening up. So there's so much more that we need to talk about. If Republicans want to spend their time around Donald Trump's skirt, trying to figure out how to, you know, hug that kneecap, let them. We move on as a country.
I'll say this quick. We'll take it to Joan. One, I don't understand a party that can't recognize the difference between terrorists and tourists. Joan, heading into 2022, do you think, quickly, is this going to be an albatross around the Republican Party's neck, or do their voters just not care about this obsession with a one-term, twice-impeached president who's hanging out and blogging in Florida?
Look, a lot of his voters do care. They still do care. But we've got to look at two things that happened this week. First of all, practically every show I watch, there's a new announcement of somebody who's been arrested for their involvement in January 6th, and also more and more people who are being arrested for conspiracy. So we're starting to learn about that. The other thing that happened, obviously, is that the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, has come forward and said, Mr. Trump, the Trump crime family, this is now a criminal investigation. And so I think you need to see these two things together as you listen to his delusion and paranoia and attempted bullying. And I think those things are going to change the landscape by 2022. I'm not sure, but I think we're going to be in a different position in a year.
I am never optimistic, but I actually believe you on this one. Joan Walsh and Michael Steele, thank you so very much. Coming up, Republican hypocrisy.